Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your girl, Belo Betty. Get ready. It's going to be a very, very spicy deck profile for OPO6, let alone showcasing a deck in which I feel is a little bit underrated here in this metagame. And for those of you guys out there that don't know, Belo Betty destroys Enel. She destroys Katakuri. She destroys Yamato. The big three are no problem for her, especially if you are a skilled player, let alone it's just like putting Zoro up against Enel. Going wide is a little bit better with her, considering we also go wide and tall. But that's besides the point. Belo Betty has access to brand new cards in OPO6, such as Ivankov and Kikinoju. And Kikyo. Now, at the end of the day, this card can only be active if your opponent has 3 or less life. Well, be it that we are playing Belo Betty, it's kind of our job, right, to do damage as quickly as we possibly can. So it's pretty easy to get this card to pop off trigger and do its thing. The upside to this is when this card is killed, right, you gain a life. Now, how else does that help you? Considering the fact that it allows you to stay in the game longer, triggers in yellow equal units on board. So when it comes to Belo Betty, anytime your opponent gives you an extra life, that's more power or more opportunity that you have to get another card on board to deal damage and win the game. So why are we running Soul Pocus? For instance, I've always stuck by this card, and I will still continue to stick by it as long as this card exists. This card is very, very solid in Belo Betty, let alone a lot of other yellow decks in the current metagame. Be it in Belo Betty, you make your opponent choose, right? They lose a life, you gain a life. If they lose a life versus this deck when you have a ridiculous board state, that means the time to kill is significantly shortened. You see what I mean? If they decide to give you a life, the same concept with Kikyo, they give you access to more triggers. It is very fun when this happens, when you chain Soul Pocuses back to back. You get one off of life, you already have one in hand. It is very, very strong. And on top of that, we do take the normal cards here when it comes to the Ivans, the Karasus, your triggers, or sorry, not your triggers, but your 2Ks, your searchers. The only difference is here, when it comes to Morley, I like to run 3. Some people opt to run 4, some people opt to run 2. I do think 3 is that sweet spot. He doesn't have that counter power, but he's very good when it comes to playing against decks like Perona, especially when we get this off a trigger, when she's already activated her leader ability and all that sort of thing. This way, it allows you to get around blockers, such as like Rosinante and Borsalino and all that sort of stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much his main purpose. Generally speaking, we're hitting for 8, 9 to 11 Ks each and every swing in the late game. Speaking of which, this goes up to 9K when you activate your leader ability. Giving it 1 Dawn is 10,000 power. So technically speaking, if you can get this off the top of your life in the first, maybe 1 or 2 hits, you're sitting so well when it comes to tempo, because they don't want to remove it because it gives you an extra life. So I mean, there's so many different ins and outs to this deck. I think it's a lot better than it was before, and just little things, you know what I mean? And then we add in 2 copies of the new Ivankov. I'm not a big fan of him, I'll be fair. He is a 5 cost with no counter power. He's a little bit expensive here when it comes to this deck, considering the fact that you are spending most of like 4 Dawn on cards, right? Because you're playing this Ivan and then you're activating your leader ability to get another 4-drop on board for free. Generally, by that stage, you may have a searcher on board that you're giving Dawn to. You don't have a lot of Dawn active to play this. So, I mean, there's certain scenarios when this is good, but when he hits, he hits. Because 9 out of 10, you will end up hitting something like a Karasu or getting another Izuma on board. And then sometimes you will hit a lot of duds, considering you are playing with yellow cards, and he cannot, summon yellow cards on board for you. But that's just something to consider. And then we run 2 of these hormone tensions, or tension hormones. This is an up and down card for me. We're going to do 2 different lists today. We're going to look at this one here, and then another list at the end of the video. But we also have 2 slots for 2 extra cards, in which, for the time being, you guys should give this a shot. I know it'll probably get banned relatively soon, maybe shortly after OPO6, or maybe it won't get banned until OPO7. We don't know for sure yet, but for now, give this card a try. Reject Impact is very strong in Belo Betty. you got to keep in mind this does 1 damage if your opponent is at 1 life, right? Being in an aggro deck where you can just flood out the board and then pop an impact or reject and then go for face is pretty hard to deal with. But overall, we're going to play a couple games with this ability or with this card, and then we're going to play a lot of games without it. That way I can show you guys 2 different variables, 2 different style of decks. Anyway, let's dive into some games here.
Now, before we get into today's games, I do want to go ahead and say thank you to ACG Town for sponsoring this video. This is one of the places where I come to look at certain anime, and when it comes to like apparel and all that sort of thing, this is one of the websites. It's actually pretty solid. They have some decent prices, let alone there's sales all the time for all of your favorite animes out there. One Piece from Demon Slayer to Honkai Star Rail. Not an anime, but it's something that everyone out there is playing right now. Genshin Impact, Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a lot of stuff here from Bleach, Fairy Tail, all that sort of stuff. They do clothing, apparel, all sorts of apparel, from 3D printed hoodies, which are actually really, really good. And we're not talking about like those generic hoodies or t-shirts you find inside of the mall that has just, you know, a random anime picture on it. No. These actually look really, really good, man. These look pretty fire. For those of you guys out there that work out and stuff and are interested in shorts, I picked up a pair of these recently, and they have that double layer aspect to them. I know it's something simple, and when it comes to phone cases, they range from a wide of different animes and mobile games and stuff, such as Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, all of that. But overall, give this place a shot. Let me know what you think about it.
Now I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way, you know, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of decks out there that you do struggle against as Belo Betty. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Moria gives this deck a very hard time, and that should be no surprise to anybody. Sakazuki is a little bit of a different animal. I mean, you can really high roll a Sakazuki with Belo Betty. I feel like Moria has the easier time dealing with this, considering he can just recycle his trash and pop your cards willy-nilly, generally. So just be a little bit mindful. It's a little bit harder to beat that matchup. But in any case, let's dive into this here real quick. See, I wish, this is the problem when I'm playing with Ivan here. I wish that I can play him down with Hormone Tension, or Tension Hormone. Why do I keep saying that? But I can't because he's a 6K. And then often not, he just kind of becomes a discard card from my hand, like here, obviously, to boost up my units. There's no way you're throwing away a Karasu over an Ivan to get these attacks in. It's just not going to happen. But in any case, I find that playing it into Yamato here as Belo is probably one of the easier matches that you would ever come against, considering the fact that most Yams are going to double hit you, right? That's fine. Double attacking a yellow player just gives us triggers. Unless you got a banish up, we're taking these hits. That way we can get cards on board to just kill you the following turn. It is so much fun with Belo Betty into a Yamato list. Now, you will come across those Yamato players that will just literally stall you out until Hody Jones can be hitting the board. So that's something you have to be mindful of, and you can't always rely on maybe a Sanji or 2 Sanjis and 1 already on board to protect for you, considering Hody would just rest them. So you got to kill them as quickly as you possibly can before they get up to 7 Dawn. But in any case, this guy here is an issue. Nekomamushi is very, very strong playing against as Belo Betty, considering the fact that when you do play down like a Karasu here, which I played from the Ivan leader effect, or Ivan effect, they can just don up Nekomamushi and attack into it. And that kind of like, it makes you want to pitch your hand to, you know, to counter out, but I digress. Sometimes it's better to just let cards go because you can just play another one down later on. So, and then I've realized with Kikyo here into Yamato, she kind of just stays on board. Once she's on board, she does not get off the board. So it's always an opportunity of having a 10k swing with 1 Dawn attached when you activate your leader ability, which is guaranteed life, generally speaking. Go 7 here though. I probably should clear a board here in you know, hindsight, but I really want to get her down before Hody comes on board, because Hody is very scary in this matchup. Paradise Waterfalls though, I respect it. It's just I don't feel like that's necessary. You're gonna take these hits anyway. So we do get the Onami out of hand, which is really good. Because I've played against a lot of Yamatos that will get the first double attack off and then stall me out until they're able to get a Onami. You know what I mean? Or at least they won't attack the next turn until they get enough Dawn with the Onami and the leader swing. So, and in that case, you have to guard out. Getting any form of banish as Belo Betty is just terrible, and that's something you should be looking out for at all times. You got to take the hit. That's what I thought. This should be game, realistically. Let's just say GG. I think this is over. I'm thinking guard out of here. Alright, we're going to do one more against this one here, considering they actually wanted to do a rematch, which is fine. Because like I said, I believe that playing into Yamato for any deck is very hard to deal with, especially yellow decks, considering the fact that Belo Betty, you know, we get access to more triggers. But at the end of the day, if we don't kill Yamato quick enough, they're going to drop down that Hody and just win game. So, we'll see how it goes. I have to be mindful of just a double attack and Onami combination. Soul Pocus here is so good. Basically, if this man takes a life, we've got an impact slash reject, whatever you want to call it here. We can go for game lethal very, very soon. Alright, cool. And instead he gave us an extra life, which is fine. Sanji is kind of dead in this matchup here, so there's no reason to play one of these down. Let's go ahead and discard the Izuma. I don't know why I was going to say the Ivan. Play Izuma here. I think that Lindbergh might be a little bit more important, just in case they're playing like Rosinante in this variant. I don't know. Let's go to 5 on a 4. 6 cards in hand. I'm going to try to get as much damage in as early as possible. That way I can go ahead and threaten lethal with reject slash impact. Let's go 5 here again. It's nice to see we actually got a Hiyori out of that. So they can't stack their life with an Onami. Because Onami versing a Belo Betty is very, very bad to deal with. Especially if they get it off trigger and they pop down your Karasu or your Ivan. And or they decide to kill your Kikyo for whatever reason. 5 Dawn active. Okay, speaking of Onami. I mean, I guess this is like the normal play, right? And there's not much I can do about it because I have exactly 8k counter. Which does suck. So we're going to have to take these hits. Thankfully, considering we got a Soul Pocus earlier, we do hang on there with 1 life. Alright, 4 cards in hand. I think we can actually make him go 0 here. Let's get rid of Lindbergh. Let's boost up. Attach a Dawn here. We're going to go 9k to 4. At least, if we get them down to 0, we should be able to survive at least the following turn, maybe. Unless they have Hody in hand, considering they are at 5 Dawn. So, we'll probably just have to go all out here. I'll save the last Dawn to put on Ivan to go for 9k. Please. You don't got it. And this should be game? Like realistically? Because they would need 6,000 power or 6k counter to get out of this. Once I impact them. So unless they have 6,000, this is pretty much over, right? There's no shot. Sorry about that, guys. They're a little bit stalling here. Oh, nope, we got the W. We'll take it. I did forget to mention it, but like I said previously, we're going to play a couple games here with impact slash reject, and then we'll play a couple games without it. The card that's going to be replacing it will be Kuma, our 2-drop, which is from the Revolutionary Army. I'll post it on screen right about here. Alright, so anyway, let's dive back into this game here real quick. For a Nell so far, I've noticed that you got to be as aggressive as you possibly can. The only card you have to worry about is them running the impact slash reject and or Gedetsu. I guess some of Nell's run Thunderbolt, but most of the time your board is kind of relatively safe and they don't run a lot of blockers. So, going wide and tall as quickly as you possibly can versus this deck kind of just puts them at a detriment, especially if you can get it done before they reach up to 8 Dawn for Katakuris. Realistically. I mean, I guess some Nels do run the 7-drop Big Mom, but most of the time it's up to 8. So 4. We also got a Kikyo there, which is really good, considering the fact that if he wants to get rid of it, we gain a free life. But he's not going to do a whole lot, because most of the time during this turn, Nell is generally popping down ohms. So he's probably going to hit me for 6k, which I'm okay with, to be fair. And then we can just clap back for big damage next turn. We do have another Karasu in hand, or we do have a Karasu in hand, so this should be pretty good. Bro, stop stalling. Let's go. Thank you. Oh, a pudding. Speaking of Big Mom. Alright, this could be the deck. Yep. There's the pudding. Or there's the Big Mom. 5k. Another Karasu here. I was hoping to get at least anything other than that. I mean, I guess we can drop down an Ivan and do the ability to get a Karasu on board. But any other trigger at that moment would have been awesome. I guess we get rid of the Morley, right? Considering the fact that he doesn't run blockers most of the time. So, we can kill the pudding with Lindbergh's effect. But my small Belo Betty can attack, so it's probably better to give the Belo Betty the boost and give Lindbergh the 2 extra Dawn. That way everybody could get a swing in here, mathematically. But perhaps leaving the Belo Betty behind will allow me to finish the game the following turn. Because there's no shot he kills Kikyo, right? And the other 2 get to stay on board, because Gedetsu can't get them unless Thunderbolt or Impact, but that would make him lose the game. Thunderbird. Interesting. So let's go 7. He's got 6 in hand, 1 life left. He'll have to block one of these hits. Yep. Alright, we'll pass it up. We do have access to an Inazuma here, just in case we need to close out a game. And that's kind of why we also run that card. I do know a lot of decks don't run Inazuma, and I feel like you should, considering you get a lot of cheeky hits in when your opponent is not ready for it. 5k. Let's just get rid of it here. Get rid of the Cracker, actually. Just in case, boys. 7, sure. Dude, I am unlucky. He's got 6 Dawn left, so there's no possibility of a Rusher and Nell coming down. Oh. Alright, reject, huh? We'll show him how this works. It's fine. We got the counter in hand. How about no? Alright, how about no? Yeah, good. I was actually going to dodge this match. Like, I'll be fair. I'll be fair. Considering the fact that I see Doflamingo, I assume it's going to be a birdcage. And it probably is going to be a birdcage. And it's not something as Belo Betty as Zoro, per se, we want to play against. We just don't. But we'll see how it happens. Maybe he doesn't draw it, or maybe he's not running it, so... Either way, Morley should be really good in this matchup, considering Rosinante and Diamante, so... I think there's one more blocker, too. Monet. So it's a possibility, but we'll see. There goes the first sugar. Cool. Yep. We'll counter out, though. We don't need the Cracker anyway. And Cracker probably won't get an attack in here if he is running the birdcage. And I can't get anything else on board here, so... we have to deal with his sugar somehow, some way. Guess we can go for the bait. If he decides to rest the Morley, we can just go straight in for the sugar. Realistically, it was probably better to rest the Sanji, because now I have Sanji to block for the Morley. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Yep, no, we're good. We're good. We're chilling. Unless he's got another sugar, but we'll see. It's a lot of fun playing into these Doflamingo matches, considering the fact that you know, especially me, of all people, like, I know what he can possibly have in the build, right? Let's be fair. But it's still very difficult to deal with as Belo Betty if he does have that birdcage, or he's playing with the Punk Gibsons, with the Sugars, resting my units, the Muck Vices. It's very challenging. So we'll see. Speaking of Cage, but thankfully we got another body on board off of the trigger stack in which Sugar cannot rest. So now we're just going to keep going face. And eventually, he's going to have to do something about it. I guess we might as well just go this. Deal with it. This is where he Punk Gibson something, right? Oh, okay, cool. I was thinking that would have sucked, but we got there. Alright, so I have to be mindful of the 10-drop Dofi. Alright, so he got himself a Spiderweb. So we know he has that. So that makes him go up to 9,000 power. Cracker and Morley are going to get popped. Which does suck, but there's nothing else I can do about it here. We'll just draw another card here. Actually, you know what? We'll pop the Sugar. That way we can actually start getting things on board and not have to worry about it. We'll just kill this. We're at 5 Dawn. Let's go get a Karasu down. Let's go -1 here. Actually, let's -1 to the baby 5. I know, bear with me. It's fine. We'll get there. I just don't want to sit here and have to worry about the Spiderweb, because we know he has the Spiderweb. So, but for this, he shouldn't Spiderweb it. He should just let it go. Otherwise, he'd have to web and then give me 3,000 power. So we should be able to kill this. Oh my goodness. I guess quick math is pretty tough, isn't it? You forgot about the Karasu. We won't talk about it. Let's math it up. It's fine. Nah, huh? Alright. We're at 10 Dawn. So my cards will pop this turn. This could be the moment we get Dofied and just rest my leader, which would suck, but he's only getting 1 attack in at the very least, so. I do have to be careful for Hody Jones. Oh, kid, okay. That's fine. That's totally okay with me. Okay, and a Rosinante. That's the problem. Never mind. We have a problem solver. Let's go, boys. Get rid of that. Lindbergh will pop the Rosinante. We should be able to kill the kid on 1 turn with the Karasu. Which is huge, by the way. Because once this pops, I don't think he has anything else in hand unless he's dropped the kid first and then play the Dofi next. But if he had the kid already, he should just play the kid previously. I'm trying to think if it's just better to play Karasu down. Because that'll push kid to 7. My other Karasu will push him to 6. And then we just kill it. I mean, you might as well, right? Let's discard the Morley. Let's give the boosts. Now we're going attacking, boys. This is probably going to be game turn right here. We're going attacking. We know he's got a Spiderweb. Oh wait, never mind. He's already used it. Unless he has another one. Pop the Rosinante. Or the kid. My bad. Forgot about this still. 3,000 counter. Ooh, Feather Thread. Or Flap Thread. Somebody watches my content. I feel it. So he's pretty spooky right now. And I probably should have attacked with this first, but we had to get rid of the Rosinante, unfortunately. I think we can pop it here. Nice. Let's go, boys. Let's go 6. We'll pass it up. Just in case. You know what I mean? Okay. This could be a problem. 5 to face. Hey. Nah, we're good. We don't need it. And it's probably better as that 2k counter. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate you. Don't worry. We got this game. We should be alright. So let's go 8 to face. We'll just minus that by 1 in case he decides to block here at some point. If we do it again, we can potentially kill it. If he decides to block. Nice. Let's go, boys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Diving into a couple more games here. Coming at you guys with Belo Betty and OPO6. In which I wanted to showcase this leader due to the fact that Belo Betty is very strong in OPO6. And I do think she's slept on it. I do think a lot of people think she's underrated. But She has very, very strong matchups right now into Katakuri, Enel, and Yamato. And those are the best, quote-unquote, yellow decks in the format outside of Queen. But overall, she does struggle into Moria. We deal with Perona without question. Like, we can beat down Perona quick enough before she can actually get her bodies on board to be relevant. Moria is a whole nother animal, and I still struggle beating Moria with Belo Betty due to the fact that man just pulls cards out of the trash and kills everything I have on board. So, and Sakazuki is a high roll essentially. If we high roll well, we generally just take the game. But other than that, let's dive into this game with Katakuri here. Speaking of which, the Nekomamushi that we get from OPO6 right here is a very strong card in all yellow decks. I'm thinking about trying it out in Belo Betty. I just don't think it's as good here as it is in like Katakuri and Nell, Yamato, and Queen, due to the fact that we have to attach 2 Dawn to it. So, but I might be able to work around it. I might be able to get rid of the Ivan that we have, but we'll see. We'll play around with it for a little bit. In any case, I don't think what I did here was worth it, but I want to get in as many attacks as I can before they start dropping big moms. Although, we're going to take a lot of damage here. We're definitely going to clear board. So he might just take 2 hits. He might Dawn up Shirahoshi and go into the Belo. Okay, never mind. No, he's not. Like, let me get a cracker here. That'd be great. There's no chance, though. Okay, never mind. We'll Soul Pocus you. Like I said, this card is so gross for Belo Betty. He lost his life. That means now we have the potential to kill him next turn if we get a trigger here. Oh, he's actually going for it. Cool. Please. Bro. I am so sorry. I apologize. I am so sorry, Katakuri. You have to deal with this. I'm trying to tell you, these shenanigans are crazy. And you know, we gotta hit him with the trifecta, alright? We gotta hit the 3rd one. We gotta do it to him. You can give me another life or what? Because if he decides to take his, we go straight for the final life here. And then he's forced to drop a big mom or try to finish me off in the following turn. We have 2 triggers left. With a 2k in hand, we should be able to protect out. At the very least. Assuming he attaches Dawn to all of his characters. Yeah, this is a big decision for you. There goes Katakuri. Let's get rid of the Ivan, and let's go face. This is already hitting him for 9. He has to deal with a 7 attack here as well. One of these are going to hit. Just please don't be a Sanji, and then we're good. Oh my gosh, no trigger. Let's clear one of these if we're able to. There's no shot you give me one of these. Okay, alright. We got rid of 2 cards in hand, so that's okay. Alright, so he has 4 attacks, realistically. 4k counter, 2 lives left. I think we can be okay here. Because if he decides to drop like an Enel or a Big Mom, we survive no matter what. Okay, 7k. Surely you go face. Yep. We'll counter out this one. I think if he decides to go for our Kikyo here, we will protect it. Come on. Okay, we gotta take this hit. We get a cracker. We'll keep it in hand, just for the counter. We don't need to play him down. He's got 4 Dawn left. So either he goes for game, or he plays down a Sanji here. Depending on what this trigger would be, right? Because even if he would have separated Dawn there... No, it's over. Cool. You know what? Let's try it again. Let's try it again. We got a really good hand here as well, to be fair. He's going to go first this time. Because I think last time we went second, or we went first last time. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But either way, let's take the Ivan. Not this Ivan. The other Ivan. Alright, so we take the Ivan. What is he going to do here? Because the last time he did not get a pudding in the early game. So perhaps this time around, if he gets his pudding in his Sparrow, he'll do better? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, okay. You're going to start looking at my life. Alright. So you're one of those players, huh? Okay. I guess in this matchup I'd probably do the same thing, but still. That's definitely an Onami or a Kikyo on top. Come on now. It's got to be now. But we're going to go face anyway. It's fine. I just feel... Ooh, he actually took the hit. It's a Shirahoshi. Okay. Double impact. Reject. Crazy. Let's go 5 again. Okay, so there goes a cracker. Let's get down... I think Kikyo is probably the better play, right? So I can't do anything with the Ivan other than drop a Belo Betty, so... And Kikyo at least gives me some free damage. He's not going to kill it. Unless he absolutely has to. Oh, Banish. That's weird to me. Like, you're only doing 1 damage. Why do I care? That's fine. Alright, do we hit him with another Soul Pocus? What do you think? Is that the play? I mean, we could drop an Ivan into a Lindbergh here as well. Or we can drop the other Ivan in hopes that we get something else. There's so many plays that we can make right now. I'm liking the Soul Pocus, though. I'm not going to lie. Let's do it. Let's just do the Soul Pocus. So it gives me an extra life. We'll drop the Belo. Ooh. Inazuma is probably the better option, even though the 2K was probably pretty solid to take as well. Trash this, give the boost. This is how I feel about the new card that we got for OPO6, the new Ivan here. I always typically just throw it away for a boost. If you've noticed, every single time I have the opportunity to, we just toss it out for the boost. I feel like he's too darn expensive. Because there's so many other options, but therefore, we also had Soul Pocus in hand, so... So realistically, we could have just played an Ivan down instead of Soul Pocus. So I guess... For my build, having both is a little bit too expensive. For my choice, I guess. Alright, so we actually did get some damage in. But... Another Onami comes down. Another Banish comes up. Yeah, this man just must not like me. I see what he's doing, though. I get it. Sweet. We'll take it. That's fine. So we got both non-counter cards off the top of my life there. See, the last time he got Morley, and this time he gets the Ivan. He's at 3 life left, and he's stacking all Dawn on leader and doing swings. So your boy, he's in a lot of trouble. Let's go ahead and do it again. We don't need this, so let's give him the boosts. Let's do it like this. I can play down another Inazuma from hand. He won't be able to attack, but we can actually kill the Onami with it, or attempt to kill the Onami. Probably should have attacked the Kikyo last, though, to be fair. But, oh well. It's too late. He couldn't kill me next turn anyhow, so I think we'll be fine. There's no way you save this. Just keep going 5. So how many Dawns do you have on leader there? 5, 7. So he goes up to 9 next turn. Potential of a Yamato, Big Mom, or Nanelle to drop down, or just a couple blockers. He might need the blockers if he has them. Can I get this one too? Okay. I figured I'd be asking for too much there. I don't think there's a whole lot that he can do here. He can realistically just don up the Onami and, you know, the leader and go for swings. But he needs to clear board here more than anything else, I think. Because he's not going to get me, you know, he's not going to kill me here unless he has an Nanelle. Even still, I don't think he can do it. I think going for board was probably his best option right now. There you go. But even just leaving one of my characters on board, we just win following turn anyway. You finally looked at your own life. That's crazy. Alright, so one blocker on board. Hey, a Soul Pocus. Let's go, boys. How about I take that life? Do you mind? Okay, alright. I guess he was actually betting on that life too. I think we just win the game here. Keep poking it. But either way, though, we will dive into a couple more games after this one. Maybe 2 more. At most, probably. Probably 2 more games, depending on how long they are. Bro, stop stalling. Let's go. Alright, so it gives me a 2k counter. One of these is bound to hit, though. Let's go 6. There's no shot. I mean, I guess he does have Sanji up. I don't know why he decided to do that. That's fair. I guess to clear board, but there's not much else he's going to be able to do anyway. Yep, you got it. So he does have the Big Mom. Yep. And this should be game. But either way, this is a very, very fun build so far. And as you can see, we do deal with yellow very well. Yep. Sweet. Didn't get the heal up there either. One more game after this, and then we'll wrap it up. And we'll take a peek back at the deck list. What I'm actually using here, considering we took out the reject and the impact. Give or take, whatever you want to call it. Now, at the end of the day, there are quite a few different ways to build Belo Betty. I've seen multiple different lists with like Skypea and all that sort of thing. So we will dive back into this deck list. I'm going to show you what we're currently using and all that jazz. For those of you guys out there who do enjoy Belo Betty, or have a list that's similar to this, or have your thoughts and opinions on that sort of thing, leave them down in the comments below so the community can talk to you guys and do all the fun stuff. You know what I mean? But anyway, I've been hunting down Katakuris and Nels and Yamatos all day with Belo Betty. I've run into some Utas, some Peronas, which are generally, both those matches can be pretty easy and straightforward. The harder of the two would be the Uta, considering the kid, but other than that though, the Moria and Sakazuki give me the most trouble. Every yellow deck here, you have no problem running over if you see a decent hand. And I'm not talking about a cracked hand, I'm talking about a decent hand. You can do it. Because like I said, with the Soul Pocus and the Kikyo, you control your life. It's really, really good. Kadetsu can't pop any of your key pieces if you take 1 damage early, which is really nice as well. So, but either way, let's get down this Ivan. We'll give him the boost, right? And we can actually get down the Karasu, hit the leader, and start doing some more poke damage here. I want to get him down to as quickly as I can before he starts dropping big moms. And yes, I'm aware he has a decent sized hand, but it doesn't matter when I'm swinging for these big numbers. He's just going to have to get rid of it all. Actually, let's get down the Inazuma here as well. Realistically, if he gets a Thunderbolt or Onami, he's not going to pop this. He's going to pop the Karasu. So, let's keep poking. Never shy away from attacking with a Kikyo. Ever. Always just go for it, considering the fact that if they kill this, you get a free life. Which is wonderful. That's all you care about in that regard. Ooh. This might get a little spooky. Because potentially he's got 4 attackers on board. Okay. Sure. I mean, we have one in hand. We can counter this one out. If he really wants to take her down, he'll attack it again with somebody else. Right? That's my thinking. Oh, he is. But she's a 9k swing here, though. She got 6 Dawn left, so no Enel. I think we made the right call. Because without question, he kills the Belo, right? Yeah, so he kills the Belo. Plays another Sanji blocker. We got 9 Dawn here to play with. So we can give the boost, drop down another Kikyo, and then don up cards to start swinging, maybe? So he's trying to stall out until he gets Mom. I guarantee it. Let's go 5. Gives me an Onami. We can't deal with the Sanjis here without the, the combos, essentially, to pop them. So it's probably better to just pass turn here and let this man work it out, because he's not going to attack me with the Sanjis if he wants to survive this turn. So here's a Mom. Goes 5. There's no reason not to take this hit, but I don't really want to replace anything on board. Oh my goodness. I think he just lost here. Ooh, we got a Sanji blocker here too. I mean... Oh, he's going for it. Don't do it. Oh, good game. Well played. Without question, I guess we just get boost and go face, right? Sorry, buddy. You tried it. He's got 2 life left. He could potentially Amaru and Beji me, though. Like, I could see it happening. Can we not, though? Please? Okay, 2 cards. Realistically, we should attack the Karasu first. I'm aware. I am sorry. It happened. Shirahoshi. I think he realizes he loses here, because he doesn't have 7k counter for this. Yep. I can do the exact same thing on Lindbergh, so... Yep, good game, bud. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game for today, in which we will be diving into a new deck for the next upcoming video. I have a lot of decks I want to get into for OPO6, so thankfully with Belo Betty, we smash out games like nobody's business. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. It was a lot of fun. For those of you people out there that actually struggle when it comes to yellow decks, or your locals is filled up with Enel and Katakuri, Belo Betty will do you well. It'll allow you to get quick games in. You're not going to sit there for 30 minutes. You don't really got to think about it. You just go wide, go tall, go face. Easy peasy. Even with Yamato. But hey, anyway, let's dive back into this game here. Let's clear out the Sanji here. We're going to do the usual with the Ivan and the Karasu, in which we should be safe unless this Enel is a dirty player and runs the reject and the impact. You know, he should, because it's a very good card and it's not banned yet, so you might as well. Yeah, I realized what I just said. I also played with it earlier. It's very strong in Belo Betty. So if it doesn't get nerfed, I'd be surprised. But he can't get Detsumi. Never mind. He does have it. Okay. So Hiyori comes down. He swaps a card from hand to life, which I would assume would be either an Onami, a Thunderbolt, or a Shirahoshi. I mean, y'all know I love my Soul Pocus, so let's find out. Let's go, boys. Alright, I think I want to be a little aggressive here. Let's go 5 to face. And then we can attach both Dawn to the Ivan. And get down either the Lindbergh here, right? Depending on what he does. Let's do the leader effect. I know this is risky, and I probably shouldn't do this. But let's try it anyway. Let's give the boost. Let's go for it. So he goes up to 8 Dawn next turn, which is the potential to possibly drop down an Enel. But if he does, and he doesn't have blockers on board, he loses the game. Because we have the Dawn, or sorry, we have the counter here. Or a Big Mom. Not sure why you thought Big Mom was a good idea, but okay. And GG. Get down this for free. Actually, I should have done this the other way. That's my bad. Misplay on my part. Yeah, I should have done the thing. That's my fault. But I guess this way we can give the Inazuma a boost, so it works out. It'll be fine. Alright, so we're at 9k, 9k. And then whatever I decide to put on the Limburg and the leader. So there's another Shirahoshi. Okay. It's gonna be an Amaru. No, it's not. Okay, cool. We're good. This should be game. Nice. Well played, bud. Well played. Alright. We'll do one more. So now I feel like a liar. Alright, so now this is the last game, okay? But anyway, although today it feels like we've been just rematching the same colors, but I did want to showcase this deck into yellow to show you guys how strong this Belo Betty list can be. And I think it's holding up. I think it's doing pretty good. Although it is weird to see Enel running Sanji here. I feel like he's playing a... I don't know what type of list. I haven't seen a Holly. No Ohm. We saw Big Mom. We saw Yamato. I'm not sure what he's running here. But hey, this is the first time you see me drop down the Ivan, in which I didn't discard him for a power boost. So, I mean, he got a Lindbergh, so value. Well, we've already got 4 bodies on board by turn 2. At least my turn 2, so... Okay, so without question, we get down Karasu. We've got 3 Dawn left to play with, which leaves us open to the Tension Hormone for the defensive end. We can get rid of a Belo Betty to get power boosts for the cards that matter right now. We'll leave 3 Dawn up, just in case. That way we can play down a Morley and or an Inazuma here. Of course you would. We're not going to risk the Ivan, we're just going to go 5k here. We'll pass turn. And if he decides to go attacking into the Belo, then we'll just activate Hormone. And that'll keep her alive, depending on who he attacks with. Sanji it is. Okay, so let's do the thing. Boost that up. And we'll play down Morley here. Unfortunately, we have to get rid of one more card, so that's fine. Now, good game. No? I mean, we have to get rid of our whole hands. It might not be worth it, because Kidetsu's going to smack him either way. But, just in case. Come on. You know you want it. That's my boy. Alright, so we can have that. I really don't think it matters here, considering we have 5 attacks. Or 6 attacks here with Inazuma. We have to actually get rid of him for the boost, unfortunately. So we do get 5. Thank you, and this will work. That way I can just Dawn up the Lindbergh. We can pop the Sanji, go 7k to face. He's got 3 Dawn active. Hero Sparrow. So he's playing like a Big Mom Pirate variant of Enel here. Wow, he took that no question. That's crazy. Of course you did. Of course you got another Onami. I might not be able to end it here. Like, realistically, I might not be able to do it. If that's in Amaru, we just lose, or Beji. Are we good? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody who decided to make it to the end of the video. As we normally do here, we come back to the deck list. We talk about a little bit of subtle changes and all that sort of thing. But either way, I wanted to show you guys the power of Belo Betty and OPO6, let alone playing this deck into as many yellow decks I possibly could the last couple days, into the Yamatos, to the Enel, to the Katakuri, in which are fan favorite that you guys should see at your locals if you've not already seen them currently, especially the Katakuri and Enel. Yamatos, trust me, she's coming, and she's going to be a lot of fun, very difficult to deal with. But for decks such as Belo Betty, you guys should have no problem dealing with all yellow decks in the format. Your hardest matchup, hands down, is going to be Sakazuki and Moria. You can deal with Perona, As long as you guys generally go second, that way it's a little bit easier for you to deal with the curve before she drops down a Gecko Moria on 8 Dawn. If you guys can go ahead and get her down to 0 life by that point, you should be okay. But the Moria is, oh boy, it's like 90-10. Alright, like realistically, he's going to beat you every time. Sakazuki, of course, we know if you high roll, you guys have no problem winning that match. But overall, this has been the deck that I've been playing with as of late. There have been a little bit of adjustments here and there. I've been playing around with the Big Bad, the one card that everyone thinks is pretty overpowered and should be banned. And it is. It's pretty strong. So I don't want you guys to try to rely on it to win games. Reject, impact, whatever you want to call it. This card is very, very good in Belo Betty. It allows you to go for a game much earlier. This is another reason why I'm running with Soul Pocus. This allows you to go for a game so much earlier than before, considering the fact that if your opponent decides to give you a life, the time to kill is shortened drastically just for that, considering the fact that how much you can swarm the board and go for big numbers with your leader effect is kind of insane. But giving you an extra life also gives you more triggers. So it's a catch-22, if you will. Let alone with Kikyo. This card is disgusting whether or not you have the 3 life for your opponent or not. It swings for 9 with your leader swing. With your leader effect. Give it 1 Dawn, you're hitting 10k. If they remove it, again, you get more triggers, you get more life. It is very strong. Especially for Belo Betty. The other option, if you guys want to change the list even a little bit, I would advise you to keep the Kumas, but if you want to take them out, be my guest. I think the Kumas would be really, really good here in OPO6. Strictly for green. For the big bads in green, such as the Sugars, the Utas, in which you can go ahead and pop down a Koala and then drop down a Kuma to get rid of this. But mainly for the Sugars, the Utas, the Belo Betty, or sorry, the Bonnies, the Momonosuke's, this is really, really good. And then on top of that, you guys have to deal with Rosinante, which is going to be in Perona. It's going to be in the Yamato lists. It is a very strong blocker for what it does. It allows them to protect the kid, all that sort of thing. Kuma deals with it, no problem. But if you guys don't want to use this card for whatever reason, there's another option in which I'm having fun with. I personally would suggest the Kuma, but again, Revolutionary Army, kind of the same similar concept to the Germa stage that you have in Reiju. This allows you to discard a card and then pick a Revolutionary Army card. So in other words, you can drop down a yellow card from hand and look for that Revo card that you can discard for the leader effect. But overall, I would advise you to keep the Kumas. If you want to play with the reject, the impact button, you go ahead, you get rid of the hormone tension, or you get rid of the Kumas to include them, or you get rid of something else here when it comes to yellow. But overall, this has been my build. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comments below. And I will catch you guys at Locals here on Sunday. Good luck to everyone opening boxes here on Friday. This has been Pawseplays. I'll catch you guys in the next one.